Hey guys, Gaddock Teeg here, bringing you a hard mode Dread Fortress boss guide. In this video we'll take a look at the operation's second boss, Gate Commander Draxus. Draxus is mainly an ad control fight, and while on the surface it may seem very complicated, as long as you stay calm and remember which ads come when, it's not really that bad. The location at which each set of ads will spawn is static, so your movement will become second nature very quickly. Before you begin, split up your group into two relatively even teams. Try to split melee and range as best you can and give each group one healer and one tank. While the healer will have a cross heal at times, it helps if each healer focuses on their group first, especially to avoid wasting cleanses. The actual boss will hop in and out over the course of the fight, and is a ranged attacker, so he will post up and not move. When you engage Draxus, you will have about 10 seconds to get in as much damage as you can before the first set of ads spawns, so get in some damage and be ready to swap targets. Whenever the boss is active, one tank will have to pick him up and face his frontal spray ability away from the raid, towards the gate. Periodically, he will also hold his hand in the air for a second, and then throw out an AoE corrosive grenade that will hit anyone near the initial target for 4k a second. This dot is cleansable by any class, so even the DPS should get themselves if possible. The healer should get whoever else gets hit, focusing on their group first before helping out the other group. After tossing the grenade, the boss will also drop threat, so tanks have to be ready to taunt. When the boss emotes Release the Beasts, he will jump into the air and become untargetable. Wave 1 will spawn, and is composed of 3 Subtaroths in both the east and west location. Subtaroths don't hit very hard, and are not exactly easy to pick up, so it may be helpful to guard healers during this phase. When a Subtaroth dies, it explodes, doing a large AoE dealing between 7 and 10k damage. So instead of using AoEs, it's advisable to single target an ad down one at a time. It's important to note that while individual ad waves can be done at any speed, the boss has a continual enrage timer that ticks, even when he's in the air, so expediency is important. In Wave 2, the west side will spawn 3 Dreadguard Dispatchers. These ads will channel an uninterruptible force lightning at random raid members, without a max range. The east side will spawn 2 of these dispatchers and 2 Subtaroths from the first phase. The raid should split up into their groups and focus fire their side, killing dispatchers first. Tanks can help DPS and pick up the Subtaroths if possible. One lightning cast will hit for about 1.5k per tick and will tick 3 times per cast. And while this may seem like minimal damage, with 4 of them alive it can be very hectic to heal, so getting the first one down in each group quickly will really help out the healers. Once all the dispatchers are dispatched, clean up the Subtaroths. During Wave 3, in addition to the ads, the boss will jump down during this wave, so one tank will have to pick him up. Wave 3's set of ads is comprised of 2 of the Force Lightninging dispatchers, and one new ad, the Dreadguard Corruptor. The Corruptor ad will stand there and cast Mass Affliction over and over. This is a 5-second cast that can be interrupted, so the raid should again split into teams and focus on killing the Corruptor while alternating interrupts. If a cast does complete, it will place a dot on every raid member that deals 1.5k damage every second for 15 seconds, and is only cleansable by Sorks and Sages. Letting one go off is far from an instant wipe, but it's much preferable to prevent this from ever happening. Once the Corruptor is finished, move on to the Dispatchers. At this point, my group will leave one Dispatcher alive, and have the entire raid switch to damaging the boss. The boss will jump back out after you've dealt 20% more damage to him. A new wave of ads does not spawn until the previous set is completely defeated, so this allows you to get rid of the boss, as well as regen some resources. Be careful though, Draxus' enrage timer is constantly ticking, so if you delay killing a wave for too long, you may have a problem at the end of the fight. In Wave 4, one Dreadguard Dismantler will spawn from both the east and west side. One DPS from each group should hit the Dismantlers first to grab aggro. Once this happens, players should burn them down ASAP. After a few seconds, the Dismantler will cast Strong Swipe, knocking the targeted player back and making them vulnerable to attack. If the Dismantler reaches the knockback player, they will be one-shotted, so each tank needs to pick one and taunt it after the knockback happens. During this phase, there will also be 2 Subtaroths that spawn in the south. Finish the Dismantlers and then kill the Subtaroths. During Wave 5, the boss will again be active. All 3 locations will have a new type of ad, a Dreadguard Bulwark. These ads will put up a shield preventing any player outside of the shield from dealing damage to anything inside, so players need to be right on top of the ads to kill them. The south will have 2 Corruptors guarded by a Bulwark, so send 1 DPS from each group to the south to handle their Corruptors. Tanks and healers can also help out with interrupts, since one of the DPS will not be able to hold them down, unless they're a Scent or Marauder. Once the Corruptors are dead, kill the Bulwark, and then head back to your sides. On both the east and west side, there will be 2 Dispatchers guarded by a Bulwark. Kill the Dispatchers, making sure to stay inside the bubble. Just like in Phase 3, leave one of the ads up. Usually a Bulwark is best since they do no damage, and get the boss down by another 20%. Kill the final ad and get ready for Wave 6. In Wave 6, 1 Dismantler will spawn on the east and west spot. 1 DPS should pick up these just like last time, but they are not going to be the primary target. In the south, 4 ads will spawn. 1 Bulwark shielding the group, 1 Dispatcher casting Force Lightning, 1 Despoiler who kinda just runs around shocking people and isn't much of a threat, and 1 Corruptor who should be interrupted and burned down first. After the Corruptor, the group should burn down the Dispatchers. Tanks need to be ready to taunt the Dispatchers after they cast their knockback. Because DPS will be focusing other things to start, one of the 2 Dispatchers may be alive long enough to cast a second knockback. If this happens, the other tank should be ready to taunt the Dispatcher. Once the Dispatchers are killed, clear up whatever is left and be ready to move on. Wave 7 features 2 of a new type of ad, Guardian of the Force. Each tank should pick up 1 of these and point them towards the outside. They will do a large frontal cone slam, shown by a purple reticle. Players should stay away from the front of the ad and move out of purple if they have to. They will also jump to a target and do a ravage attack, so tanks should do their best to hold aggro. All DPS should focus 1 target and then the other. There will also be 2 Subtroth ads that spawn from the back. These should be killed last. During Wave 8, the boss will be active, so 1 tank will have to pick him up. For the rest of the group, 2 Corruptors and 1 Bulwark will spawn in both the east and west locations. Each DPS should take 1 of the Corruptors to interrupt. The remaining tank and healers can help where needed, but it is likely that 1 of the casts will go off, and if so, healers will need to be ready with cooldowns and cleanses. Again, leave 1 Bulwark alive, and do damage to the boss until he jumps out. If a dot does go out, the group can leave the Bulwark up and heal through the dot, and then kill the last ad. The 9th and final wave is pretty hectic, so everyone needs to be paying attention to what is going on around them and adjust accordingly. The boss will jump down but has a 30-second shield making him immune to damage, but 1 tank will have to pick him up. In addition to the boss, 2 Guardians of the Force will spawn, and tanks should try to round them up as best they can, but the raid should be careful to stay away from any errant purple slams. Finally, 2 Dispatchers and a Corruptor will spawn in the south location. All DPS should focus on killing the ads in the back, while interrupting the Corruptor. After the ads in the south are down, do whatever you can to 1 of the Guardians, but as soon as Draxus' shield goes down, DPS should be on him full time, burning him as fast as possible, while staying out of any purple areas. After the boss is defeated, clean up the Guardians and claim your loot. I hope you find this video helpful, and remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other boss guides. Thanks for watching.